The Mercedes Formula One team isn't looking good in the 2024 season.
Safe or not? Negative. No, we've just been bumped.
The 2022 regulations threw the Brackley-based team, with 8 Constructors' Championships in a row, back to being the 5th fastest team on the track. It's even so bad that they're mocking themselves on social media. How does such a big name in autosport not get the car right under the current regulations? Why can't they figure it out and improve? Let's dive in. Everyone expected Mercedes to continue dominating, or at least fight for championships under the new 2022 regulations. Since the V6 turbo hybrid era began in 2014, they were the team to beat. In 2017 and 2018, they faced some competition from Ferrari. The first time they were beaten and their winning streak was in 2021, the last year of those regulations and aerodynamics. In 2022, Mercedes introduced a radically different design from all the other teams, the infamous zero-pod design. They underperformed by Mercedes standards but still finished 3rd in the Constructors' Championship. This result came with multiple podiums and a race win for George Russell. In 2023, they started with the zero-pod design but switched to classic side pods at the Monaco GP. The car performed better, and they even finished 2nd in the Constructors' Championship. It looked like they found the way up and would challenge Red Bull Racing in 2024, an exciting season ahead for the fans. Mercedes knew they had to change the car and come up with a new concept for 2024. With James Allison back at the drawing board, the man who created the W11, the most dominant car Mercedes ever made, they had high hopes. They looked quite decent in pre-season testing. I thought they would contend with Ferrari to be the 2nd best team, as I mentioned in my preseason video, but now they are the 5th fastest team. In hindsight, the 2022 and 2023 cars might have been better. How does this happen? It's surprising that a team that dominated for so long could get it so wrong. That's what everyone thinks. Mercedes totally misjudged the current ground effect regulations, and every time they try to improve the car, something else doesn't work anymore. Since 2022, they have had problems with porpoising, downforce, drag, and issues with changing temperatures. In 2024, a new problem occurred with the W15, awful tire degradation. The problem with their car has to be deeper than just not understanding the regulations. To understand the problems they're facing, we need to look back at the 2022 and 2023 seasons. Mercedes admitted they made mistakes in the design process. Their issues, such as porpoising, made their performance fluctuate a lot. They suspected that the floor was the cause of that. For the 2023 season, they started a new concept. They built a new chassis, new front and rear suspension, redesigned a new gearbox, side pods, and adjusted the ride height. Despite their hard work and all the changes, it was still not an improvement. The 2023 car remained unpredictable, and they had problems with suddenly losing downforce and an unstable rear. It was once again the floor not performing as desired. The floor didn't provide a consistent aerodynamic load, making it unpredictable. The car was again quite reliable, and so were the drivers. Occasionally, they showed good pace. As mentioned earlier, for 2024, they wanted to start with a new concept to drastically improve their performance. They've looked good in pre-season testing, but as soon as we started racing, we saw that the car was even worse than the past 2 years. With 3 different cars in 3 years, Mercedes still isn't where they wanted to be. Toto Wolff said the team is facing similar correlation issues. The measurements they make are not reflected on the track in terms of performance. In simpler terms, they are faster in the simulator than on the track. Apparently, they've had this issue since 2022. After the Japan Grand Prix, Toto Wolff said there are 70 points of downforce not found on the track, which means 0.5 of lap time. For the 2024 car, Mercedes also changed the suspension to a pushrod rear suspension, like Red Bull Racing. They didn't know if it was the right choice, but they went with it anyway. With the new suspension, they could also improve their floor because it allows more room for the diffuser, which increases airflow to the rear part of the car. This could improve drag, a serious issue on the 2023 car. However, it didn't yield the improvements they needed. It introduced their new problem of high tire degradation, which was one of the strengths of the 2022 and 2023 cars. Because Mercedes didn't get the design right at the start of the new regulations in 2022, they need to start over again and again until they find the solution. Competitors like McLaren, Aston Martin, and Ferrari improved their cars with upgrades because they understood where their issues came from. This is the main issue Mercedes has. It seems like they just don't know where all the issues come from. Before they can improve, they need to figure it out. And the simulator seems to play a big part in it. However, Aston Martin, which uses the same simulator as Mercedes, seems to do a better job at understanding their car. Strange, isn't it? The simulator and car are not the only problems for Mercedes. After dominating in previous years, they also lost a lot of their staff to rivals, especially technical employees. Many of them went to Red Bull, for example, and that's the team that dominates right now. This is one of the broader issues Mercedes is facing, and it's holding them back in adapting to the current regulations. Without a good team, you can't improve. Mercedes is trying to attract key figures from other teams, but this isn't going too well. With their star driver Lewis Hamilton leaving, they might lose more key figures in very important positions, which will hurt them even more. The last problem they have is strategy. When you are dominating and far ahead, you can afford a mistake. But if you are fighting to make it to the podium, you definitely can't. Their race strategy approach has never been their best quality, if you ask me.
No, listen to me when I say it's going to be a two-stopper.
They've lost a few podiums and even 1 or 2 race wins in recent years because of this. Can Mercedes fix all of this for the 2025 season? I don't think so. With so many problems, no understanding of the current regulations, and again being on the back foot, it's hard to imagine seeing them fight for race wins or the championship in 2025. Mercedes has to see the 2025 season as a gap year, try to improve a bit for the new driver that is coming. But mainly, they should focus on 2026. That season we get new regulations with different cars and engines. The last time we had new engines, Mercedes built by far the best one. They have a new opportunity for that in the 2026 season. That needs to be their focus. If they can gain an advantage with the engine, they will be able to fight at the front again, maybe even for a world title. Of course, they also need a good car and a very good driver for that. That's probably the reason they are looking to sign Max Verstappen, a driver that extracts everything out of the car he drives and can improve the car by giving feedback. He will also help them attract new technical employees because people want to work with him. What is your opinion about Mercedes, and how do you think they can improve this season? Or do you think they need to focus on the 2026 season with new regulations and engines? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel.